The 20th century was a period of profound change and innovation in English literature, marked by the emergence of modernism, a literary movement characterized by experimentation, fragmentation, and a rejection of traditional forms and conventions. Here's a detailed history of modernism in English literature. 1. Origins and influences, 1900 to 1910. The roots of modernism can be traced back to the late 19th century with the works of writers such as Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, and the symbolist poets of Europe. The influence of scientific advancements, such as Einstein's theory of relativity and Freud's psychoanalysis, challenged traditional notions of reality, time, and human psychology. The horrors of World War I, 1914 to 1918, shattered the optimism of the Victorian era and led to a profound sense of disillusionment among writers and artists. Early modernist writers, 1910 to 1920. The modernist movement gained momentum in the early 20th century, with writers such as Virginia Woolf, James Joyce, T.S. Eliot, and Ezra Pound leading the way. Woolf's stream of consciousness narrative technique, as seen in novels like To the Lighthouse, 1927, and Mrs. Dalloway, 1925, revolutionized the novel form. Joyce's Ulysses, 1922, and Eliot's The Wasteland, 1922, broke with traditional narrative structures and explored themes of alienation, fragmentation, and the search for meaning in a chaotic world. Pound's advocacy for "make it new" and his experiments with poetic form in works like The Cantos, 1917 to 1969, influenced generations of poets. 3. High modernism, 1920 to 1930. The interwar period saw the height of modernist experimentation, with writers pushing the boundaries of language, form, and subject matter. Modernist poets such as Wallace Stevens, the collected poems of Wallace Stevens, 1954, and Marianne Moore, Observations, 1924, explored new poetic modes and imagery. Modernist novels like D.H. Lawrence's Women in Love, 1920, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, 1925, and Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, 1926, depicted the disillusionment and uncertainty of the post-war era. 4. Late modernism and postmodernism, 1940 to 1960. The aftermath of World War II saw a shift towards a more fragmented and skeptical form of modernism, often referred to as late modernism or postmodernism. Writers like Samuel Beckett, Waiting for Godot, 1953, and Harold Pinter, The Birthday Party, 1957, embraced absurdism and existentialism, questioning the meaning and purpose of human existence. Postmodernist writers such as Vladimir Nabokov, Lolita, 1955, and Thomas Pynchon, Gravity's Rainbow, 1973, further destabilized traditional narrative structures and played with concepts of truth, reality, and identity. 5. Legacy and influence. Modernism revolutionized the way literature was conceived, written, and read, paving the way for subsequent literary movements such as postmodernism, postcolonialism, and magical realism. Its emphasis on subjectivity, fragmentation, and the exploration of the human psyche continues to shape contemporary literature and culture. Modernist writers remain celebrated for their bold experimentation, intellectual rigor, and enduring relevance to the complexities of modern life. Overall, modernism in English literature was a period of radical innovation and artistic freedom, challenging traditional norms and expanding the possibilities of literary expression in the 20th century.